Underwood Lane, and the original ice cream place was at Lewis's Ice Cream. It's now a play school and a trading place. Across the road in Underwood Lane, the old Lion and Swan, it's now gone, pub on the corner. And this area used to be the doctor's. The entrance, it used to be there, which is now bricked up. It's going back a few years, that is. On West Street, what for years was the post office, it's now the Vape Alchemist. Goddard Street, corner of West Street, the old Brunel pub, long since gone, of course, named after Brunel. And one thing you don't see anymore, this now sort of a vaccination centre, but it was a public toilets. What happened to public toilets? Never see any anywhere now. Richard Moon Street, and there used to be, the pub was at the Bessemer on this area, and there used to be an entrance opposite. When it was really hot, they used to come out of the works for a beer, and it was part of the job because it was that hot they needed to replace the salt. But further down this side there was an entrance, and there used to be a newspaper shop from Hightown. He used to come with his dog on a trolley and sell newspapers every morning. On the old Samuel Street Park is still going. I remember this as a kid, so we're going back probably 60 years ago. And in the far corner over there used to be another public toilet. Well, somehow this has managed to survive, and they did find some air raid shelters underneath, and then they've covered them back up again. Well, Flag Lane, who remembers the pub that used to be on the corner? Was it the Vine? Somebody will tell me if I'm wrong. When I was a teenager, that was one of my first drinks I ever had at that pub. That's another pub in Crewe Works. Well, Hightown and the Technical College, and the little street at the side used to be Castle Street, where I used to live a few years ago. Well, it was a technical college for a long time, and now it's turned into posh flats. Good old building, been there a long time. On the other corner of Hightown there's another block of flats which used to be a supermarket. Within the supermarket there used to be little shops within the market itself. I can't remember the name of it, but somebody's going to tell me, aren't they? It's on the back of my mind, but somebody will come up with it. We're just at the Queen's Park Golf Club. Now who remembers, and it must be over 50 years ago, this used to be the sewage works. And didn't it connect through to Joey the Swan at one time? All this was sort of sewer beds, if I've got my memory serves me correctly. Here's a good one. This Elite Tyres auto place, as it is now, used to be a cinema, because we had a lot. We had the Ritz, we had the Odeon where I used to work, the Gormont down High Street, one on Electricity Street, and this one. Well, what was it called? Anybody know? This little cottage on West Street, at one time it used to be the woman who took in stray dogs and cats. On the opposite corner, which is now a house, used to be Allen's estate agent. And of course this bit of wasteland we've got here now used to be the doctor's. How things have changed on Hightown. On the corner used to be Carlis's bike shop, and next to it used to be a supermarket. The little shop here used to be a clothes shop back in the day when we had the Ben Sherman shirts and all that sort of thing. And the now fireworks shop used to be Charlesworth, where you could buy your telly, and you know, Charlesworth was this company where you could actually repair tellies. And of course back in the day the limelight was of course a church. It's down West Street again. Who remembers there used to be a pet food store here? And a bit further up used to be a guy that did brake pipes. Funny little shop, but he was a real expert at doing it. And then there was the famous pie shop. Was it Whittoff's? Or was Whittoff's round the corner? But everybody loved the pies. A bit further down there was a model shop and a sewing shop. We're going back a few years with this lot. Corner of Heathfield Avenue, and there used to be a shop and sell guitars and radios and things. Was it Boston and Doig's? Again, it's going back a fair few years. I'm just on the square, and of course we used to have Britannia until the council cocked it up and decided for no sensible reason to shift it around the municipal and point it in the wrong direction. Well, there used to be the Odeon where I used to work. And next to it was Miller and Palin, a photographic shop. And this big building here was the telephone exchange. We did have sort of Smith's, which is long since gone, bookshop. And at one time the job centre used to be over there as well. Just past the job centre used to be the old Curry's. So we're going back a fair few years with this. Of course it's all changed and gone, and Marks and Sparks have now been closed forever. I'm just at the bottom of Market Street, and there's Hoxley's on the corner. Been there since Noah was a lad. And the building here used to be Crewe Community Action. I used to run a martial arts club there years ago. And the rest of the street there was a pub on the corner, which seems to be still there. We can zoom in. And there's various sort of shops up and down the street. None of which original are probably still here, but nevertheless. On the corner of Market Street, this used to be a record shop, because it's closed. I don't know if it's still open. And it's hard to work out where we are to the old town, but roughly speaking, what we see now would be Market Street. And there would be the old fire station. And next to the fire station would be the co-op. And a bit further up there used to be a butcher's that had an old game outside. And across the road from that co-op, which will probably be somewhere here now, were other co-ops. The co-op really sort of was everything in Crewe. And the ones this side, I always remember, you used to pay your money and they put it in a little tub, screwed it onto a runner, and it shot up to the office, and they gave you the change and it come back. And of course you needed your co-op number. And going back 60 years, ours was 1204 Road. and you needed that number to get your divvy, because you used to get like a discount, a divvy. And roughly sort of where Peacock's is, there was more co-op, the main co-op offices, and of course the Ritz Cinema. I mean, the co-op was just everywhere. There was the dairy, there was bread delivery, there was the factory, there was everything was co-op. There's a good one. I bet nobody remembers this. I think this was the corner. There used to be a shop on here 50 years ago, and there's a woman that used to rescue dogs and cats. I think her name was Ada Harding. Well, I bet nobody remembers that. Just on Broad Street Field, and who remembers Brooklands up there, where it used to be an old folks' home? Well, there was like flats, weren't there? We used to deliver milk to each flat. And across the road, which you can't see very well from here, but across the road used to be the prefabs. What was the name of the prefab streets? I can't actually remember at the moment. As soon as I turn the camera off, I will. Well, this field's been going for donkey's years. And years ago, we used to come with a dog, and there was like 30 dogs all running loose, having a great time. In the old days, of course, people used to let the dogs out all day, and used to have dogs roaming the streets all day. But thankfully, those days have gone. Yes, this whole area, all the way along here, was prefabricated buildings back from the war days. So let's see how good people's memories are. What were the names of the streets? These are, of course, all new houses now. West Street, and everybody must remember where these houses, flats are now. The old entrance to Crewe Works, mainly the medical centre. Obviously, like a lot of the works, now long since gone. Corner of Frank Webb, and two shops used to be here. You used to be able to get anything you wanted from these two shops years ago. Why they failed? Because they were really good shops. Obviously, down West Street, everybody remembers the wall, don't they? The most historic thing in Crewe that they managed to knock down. And did do a video day by day of them knocking the wall down on YouTube. But Crewe Works, they should have kept it as a living museum. Now we've got houses, houses and more houses. Ford Lane, and this is the Wilson House Scouts. It was originally a police station, and the marks are still there. Before the Scouts, it used to be the civil defence, because I trained on the civil defence here. It's now often used for elections, and for many years it was civil defence. On the corner of Market Street, this used to be a record shop. As it's closed, I don't know if it's still open. And it's hard to work out where we are to the old town, but roughly speaking, what we see now would be Market Street, and there would be the old fire station, and next to the fire station would be the co-op, and a bit further up there used to be a butcher's that had an old game outside, and across the road from that co-op, which will probably be somewhere here now, were other co-ops. The co-op really sort of was everything in Crewe. And the ones this side, I always remember, they used to pay you money and they put it in a little tub, screwed it onto a runner, and it shot up to the office, and they gave you the change and it come back. And of course you needed your co-op number, and going back 60 years, ours was 12040, and you needed that number to get your divvy, because you used to get like a discounted divvy. And roughly sort of where Peacock is, there was more co-op, the main co-op offices, and of course the Ritz Cinema. I mean, the co-op was just everywhere. There was the dairy, there was bread delivery, there was the factory, there was everything was co-op. There's a good one. I bet nobody remembers this. I think this was the corner. There used to be a shop on here 50 years ago, and there's a woman that used to rescue dogs and cats. I think her name was Ada Harding. Well, I bet nobody remembers that. Just on Broad Street Field, and who remembers Brooklands up there, where it used to be an old folks' home. Well, there was like flats, weren't there? We used to deliver milk to each flat. And across the road, which you can't see very well from here, but across the road used to be the prefabs. What was the name of the prefab streets? I can't actually remember at the moment. As soon as I turn the camera off, I will. Well, this field's been going for donkey's years. Years ago, we used to come with a dog, and there was like 30 dogs all running loose, having a great time. In the old days, of course, people used to let the dogs out all day and used to have dogs roaming the streets all day, but thankfully those days have gone. Yes, this whole area all the way along here was prefabricated buildings back from the war days. So let's see how good people's memories are. What were the names of the streets? These are, of course, all new houses now. West Street, and everybody must remember where these houses, flats are now. The old entrance to Crewe Works, mainly the medical centre. Obviously, like a lot of the works, now long since gone. Corner of Frank Webb, and two shops used to be here. You used to be able to get anything you wanted from these two shops years ago. Why they failed? Because they were really good shops. Obviously down West Street everybody remembers the wall, don't they? The most historic thing in Crewe that they managed to knock down. And I did do a video day by day of them knocking the wall down on YouTube. But Crewe Works, they should have kept it as a living museum. Now we've got houses, houses and more houses. On Broad Street and Badger Avenue, these houses were formerly the Broad Street Club. It's long since gone, but it was really a big place for entertainment back in its day. Badger Avenue, all new housing estate. Surely everybody must remember the old Rutland Street School, which was formerly on the site. What's left of the old Market Street, the big building here used to be Crewe Community Action. Used to run a Kung Fu club from there. The rest of the street's now been taken up by Argos and the other. What's this to do what? Formerly it was almost certainly co-op, because the co-op was on one side with a big supermarket, butchers and another on the other side. Down by the Ritz Cinema was the co-op main offices. Next to the co-op, of course, years ago there was the fire station. Co-op funeral place. All this again used to be the co-op. That was the bread place where they used to go out every day delivering bread. And all the rest of it, which is now an MOT and club centre, used to be the co-op mill with 30 plus vans going out every day as far as Shavington, Nantwich, all round. At the side here, there's now new houses which used to be the Cumberland pub, which is like most of the pubs in Crewe has now gone. Goddard Street, the comparatively new flats. All this used to be the Signal and Telegraph British Rail at one time. And this now defunct opening used to be one of the main entrances for the workmen. The paper shop from my town used to come with his little trolley and a German Shepherd dog and 5 papers for the workers. Richard Moon Street and these houses. How many remember was at the Bessemer pub, where the workmen used to come out of British Rail and go and get a pint of beer if you were working in very sweaty conditions. You used to get a free pint of beer from the Bessemer. I'd say free, the British Rail version of it. Goddard Street, the site of the old LMR Club, which was one of the first railway clubs. I believe it only served tea originally. This is the temperance movement. But there was the boundary marker for the LMR right next to it. And this field here was sort of part of it, a football field. And they used to have a circus come quite regular. I think you can still find the guy rope things in the ground. It's been now empty for a couple of years, waiting to be developed. Just on the corner of West Street, the old Brunel pub, now closed down and going to be flats. Brunel, of course, was famous for bridges, trains and all sorts of things. We still had time to run a pub down West Street in Crewe. The site of the Lion and Swan pub, which is now a scaffolding place. The Lion and Swan used to be one of the main pubs for Travellers' Rest at one time. Soon there'll be no pubs left in Crewe. This empty wasteland on the corner of West Street used to be the doctor's. It's now been wasteland, nothing ever been done with it. The site of the old Chetwood pub, corner of West Street. And the insurance officer used to be Hallam, estate agent years ago. Crewe Town Centre, where Santander and all these shops used to be, was the Odeon where I was projecting. A bit further down was one of the few photographic shops, I think it was Miller and Palin. Come across to New Look, that used to be the telephone exchange. The actual square itself used to be the bus station. And we had Britannia here. It was a big fight trying to stop it being moved. Eventually it got moved round the corner. This is Alchester Bridge and Age UK and various others. This used to be the main British Rail offices. There used to be a steam train in a glass case that used to put penny in there, sort of chuff chuff. It used to come here for your wages and various other things. Corner in Prince Albert Street, Chester Street, and used to be the toll office for many years. Back in the day when you used to sign on and get cash. One around the corner was the job centre. Back in the day, you could If you have a job, you could go in and get 3 jobs within a day. Christchurch, still standing, but now a total wreck. Like most of the churches in Crewe, very few left standing over there. Taken over for something else. The town square, and this was part of this site, was the old library. It was a decent library, and above it was the town hall where you used to go bopping on a Friday night. And we have the war memorial, which got moved from around the corner. And the council thought they were so important that they pointed it the wrong way. It was the only one in the country pointed the wrong way. There used to be shops over the other side. One was Thorley's, a pet shop. It used to do everything. Just on the corner is the old technical college. There used to be a street, Castle Street, by the side of it, where we got our first house. It's like the forerunner of the Dane Bank, what was mainly to do with technical. Houses and flats on the corner of Flag Lane. What was the old pub? A little pub here, possibly the bar, when I was my very first pints as a teenager. Idle Road and another church that long since passed. Now they've gone School of Dancing and Theatre School. It's been the School of Dancing for many years now. Building for people with schizophrenia. Years ago, this was chemical coating services. The same area, this is an old Mabel Fashion? That's the main entrance to, it was a very big sewing factory at one time. It's now part of a business park. It was correct, it was the old Mabel Fashion. It's now being renovated. This would have been one of the most iconic landmarks of Crewe at one time. The old gasworks. Strangely, half the structure is still left. This was a massive gas tank at one time. And it really stood out in Crewe as a major landmark. Just when we didn't have North Sea gas and it was all manufactured. You can still see some of the tank left. You see the structure just about of the old parts of the old gas tank. Still quite a big structure, even though it was miles high at one time. And as we swing round, that also used to be the gas board, and then it became chemical coating services. Yes, you heard right, it was in Bridle Road, and then they moved to this big site here.